Now, first of all, is to pass my condolences to the family and the entire nation for losing Wafula Chebukati. Well, Wafula Chebukati was a good man, but we know he compromised 2022 elections, and therefore, everything that you do in this world has a compensation. Today, Kenyans are suffering because of a discretion that was made by one man, Chebukati. But the Lord has fought for us as Kenyans. Yes. Silvio. Number two, I want to say this. We have seen ignorance at the highest peak more than ever before. Imagine we had the AU elections the other week. The president went with a delegation of over 200 members of parliament from Kenya, but we lost it. What a disgrace we are bringing to this nation. What a disgrace, Mr. President. You cannot tell me you use all these billions of shillings when the SHA you introduced is not working, and we have seen the committee of actually private sectors hospitals. They are actually giving, the ultimatum that coming next week they are going for, they will not be accepting SHA. Now the Kenyans are where? We are suffering in desperation, but the president is busy, he's so spendthrift with our money. And as taxpayers, we are so much disappointed by the discretions the president is making. Every day, we pay for these advisors, the economic advisors. What are they doing? Moses Kuria, the only thing he knows is to troll Dende Nyoro. I want to tell you, Moses Kuria, it is true. You are from the mountain and you are favored by the president now that he has given you a position of advisory in the economic. But I want to tell you, one son of the mountain, that is Honorable Dindi Nyoro, has been one of the sharpest economic mind in this nation. But we have realized the president is always outdoing these sharp minds because he don't want to be challenged. But here from Bunge la Wananchi, we want to tell you, Mr. President, we are so much disappointed as Gen Zs. We are so much disappointed as a nation because Kenyans are suffering. The hospital SHA is not working. Our students in the universities are suffering because of this funding model. It is the high time you prepare because come 2027, we are sending you home. Thank you very much, Bunge.
Thank you for saving our time. In yako.
Well, gentlemen, can you keep quiet? Isa. We. Habari zenu. Kwa nini mmekasirika? Thank you very much. I think one information is given. Chukweni SHA. If you know you cannot afford insurance, enter the SHA way. I'm going to go straight away on the two pertinent topics that have been broke about, but equally nitaleta zangu. Can you relax? Jambo la kwanza, sometimes it pains me to think of somebody talking of a gone fellow in the name of kuna criminality the guy alifanya wakati akiwa hai. Kwa nini nasema hivyo? Life is sacred. Now the moment utasema Chebukati did 1, 2, 3, 4 things, I think you are unaccomplished because you are not with him. Having said that, if you are very keen, the position Chebukati was holding is a very serious position with problems zake. Being an arbiter is not something very easy. If you start with Chebukati, with the Kibiutu, I think mliona vile ilienda. Mmekuja Isaac Hassan, mmeona vile imeenda. Tumekuja Chebukati, tumeona vile imeenda. What I don't know, ni mbali pa classify Chebukati kwa sababu where I come from, when somebody passes on, tutasema hiyo act based on ile level yake kwa society. Like ukiwa Mang'aa, tutasema umekula pamba. Kikwetu, ibango pamba bwana. Ukiwa you are an known fella in the society, tutasema umeroll ile whisk, ile fly wicks, ile mkia ya ng'ombe. Ingielo rengo. I'll be teaching you pole pole. Now, Ikiwa wewe umeokoka kama hii samaa nyamazi mali watu wanaongea, tunasema umelala. Are you getting me? So what I'm saying, however much Chebukati had what happened, of course I cannot be his lawyer, but at one point it is not right to judge. So I always say those are water under the bridge. Because hata wale watu ambao walikuwa naona agitation wakati Ford Kenya ilikuwa inang'ang'aniwa kati ya Raila Amolo Odinga na Wamalwa kijana senior, mchakato ilipelekwa Thika. The umpire was Manasseh Kuria. Go back to history, muone what happened. Manasseh Kuria was called all names by supporters of Raila Odinga and supporters of Wamalwa kijana. Coming to foreign policy, sijui kama kisungu ndio tamu kwa mdomo zenu ama you are just talking. I don't know whether you know what it means with foreign policy. A viable foreign policy is pegged on where you stand, kama vile siasa. Mali umesimama nida dictate perception yako kulingana na jambo fulani. Because this same foreign policy dimefanya mheshimiwa rais yetu yuko anchored kwa international platform. Kwani Ruto amekuwa rais mwaka gani? But unaona wakati kuna shida Kongo, yuko Kongo. Umeona wakati kuna any deliberation ya kimataifa, mheshimiwa anawekewa red carpet. Haijalishi ni wapi globally. He addresses on behalf of African leaders. And because we are trivial on how we do our things, hata tuoni kama hiyo ni achievement. Having said that, wacha nirudi kwa agenda zangu. Bwana Speaker, kwa heshima hata nikiteleza kidogo, unihandle with velvet gloves. Usinipiga bare knuckle. What I'm saying, kwa nini nikiona young people are really aggrieved with the Ruto's leadership? Saa zingine mimi usema they are biting beyond what they can chew. Kwa sababu ukiniuliza son of soil from Homa Bay kwamba where should you direct your anger, I literally tell you I'll direct it to my mother. Why? Wakati wa mama wengine walikuwa wanachagua men of repute, alikuwa ameenda kuchagua nani? Ndio nikazaliwa pale. Wewe badala ung'ang'ane na Ruto ambao watoto wake huenda wengine are younger than you, umesahau. Rudi kwenu ukae na wazazi wako, uwaulize where did rent starting beating you? Ni wapi hamkufanya things the right way? That's my take. Have yours utaongelea. I think we are not talking two people here. Mimi ndio nimepewa nafasi. So, what am I saying? We are really agitating about bad leadership of Kenya. But hakuna siku tumekuja tumeiamark even one thing mheshimiwa rais na administration yake imefanya. Like now, if you are really articulative on current affairs of how our government runs, you'll agree with me. For the first time since 2019, our tourism sector has improved from 1.8 to 2.7 billion on arrival. And that one is 32% increase. We are only looking for the weak points. And that one is bringing me to some 1 or 2 points. The first point that one is bringing me to is that with some of these achievements the government is rolling out, like the other time I even did tell you, kwamba connection level up to the last point is above board. Wengine wetu tulikuwa tunakaa ni kama tuko msituni. Stima tumeona Nairobi, hata kama unaona tunajifanya hapa. Tulikuwa tunatumia kiroboi. We are moving away from that. But wewe ambao ulijaliwa, umezaliwa kwa nyumba ya stima, you can never see what Ruto is doing. But can you share this list with wengine? Ujue ni wapi kuna achievements. And that's what is calling for me and our colleagues is that at the end of the day, we are going to behave in a very funny way. Because there are people who believes kwanza tuko wengi. La pili, mzee akishaanguka atakuja kutusaidia. La tatu, we have Gen Zs. Hizo mimi wajua vile naita hiyo mimi naita ni kama mtu afikiri vizuri. Umejidanganya. Kwa sababu gani? When you talk of numerical strength, you can never be many kuliko the rest. You are many vis-a-vis who? Kuna Gen Z is the factor. This Gen Z factor, is it only in one area? Haiko kwa wengine. So what I'm saying ni kwamba let us try to be a bit realistic of how we do things. It might look tribal, but I develop my statements based on what is happening. So ukitoka hapo, I thank God siku hizi nimeokoka kidogo. Damu ya Yesu inatembea kwa mwili yangu. You go back home and try to evaluate kwamba kama Karl Marx alisema na ni Gandhi alisema sauti ya walio wengi ni sauti ya Mungu. Ni sauti ya wakina nani? Sauti ya walio wengi ni sauti ya Mungu. Ni ya wakina nani? Wewe kwa mchakato yako, kwa zile vitu zote unafanya, wanasema religion is a cult. But then if it is a cult, equally Karl Marx anasema it is the opium of the poor masses. It soothes them. Where do you belong? So I bring you the same narrative of 1 King 18. The prophets of Baal and Elijah. Who carried the day? They carried the day kwa sababu walikuwa wengi, ama waliangamia kwa sababu walikuwa wengi? Gentlemen, based on the trajectory the government of Mheshimiwa Ruto is taking, I can tell you for a fact, up to next year, the reality will dawn on the doubting Thomases. Kwamba Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga is not going anywhere. In fact, we are going to behave like Elijah and Elisha. Kwa sababu wakati Elijah alikuwa anachukuliwa na Mwenyezi Mungu, Elisha alikataa hawezi kumwacha. Now that's the same way I'm foreseeing Mheshimiwa Ruto na Raila waachani. Na kama waachani kikwetu, I think what Raila said is law. That one brings me to the last narrative nikimaliza Bwana Speaker. I'm just trying to think of the SD of ODM. Let Mheshimiwa, my friend, let Mheshimiwa kiongozi tafadhali kidogo tu. I'm saying nikimalizia ningependa niseme kama mwanachama wa ODM. Ningependa niombe kwa heshima SG ya chama cha ODM Mheshimiwa Sifuna. I think I'll request him to go back to the drawing board and realizes he's not the SG by virtue of his eloquence, his know-how, his age, or where he comes from. He should take this and do consideration. Na aweze flashback, ajaribu kuangalia wakina nani wamewahi kuwa SG wa hicho chama. What happened to Margaret Langat and what happened to Ababu na Mwamba? Sisi ukileta yako tunakuletea. Tunaelewana? Kwa sababu we can never have a system where a serious movement like ODM, an SG doesn't read from the same script with the all ODM fraternity. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The news that has been on most Kenyan lips, I've said that I think from today since the morning, the most word that was there on the Kenyan lips was the story of Mr. Chebukati. And what Kenyans are doing, we are not judging Mr. Chebukati, but we are trying to connect the situation that has happened now with the Chebukati. We are trying to connect it with the incidents of the 2022 general elections. That is why how he is being judged is not because he has died, but it is because of the pronouncement of the elections of 2022. Because even the same newsrooms that are having their headlines and saying breaking news, kama hiyo mambo inaweza rudishwa 2022, because most of those newsrooms didn't even support what Mr. Chebukati announced, then we will know where the position of most of the Kenyans will be. So I say, we are not judging him by any chance, but it was against the wish of many Kenyans. His announcement at a time when we had a division in the same i.e.b.c. We had a division, and it was a reconstituted channel that was intended to speak the same voice. As he has died today, want to tell the other commission that is checking on the reconstitution of new members that at least, as we mourn one who had led this country, take it upon you to ensure that at least we can have independent members and members who can never be divided independent by themselves. Secondly, I want to say that the basis of uniting a country is not based on merging political parties, because we are hearing our leaders talking and saying that we want to unite this country for merging ODM and UDA. That is not the basis of uniting a country of this stature. The basis of uniting this country is by listening on the voice of the people, because that is what is most important. When we listen on the voice of the people, because we can merge them, but the voice of the people might decide elsewhere in 2027. Because right now, we have had our committees being reconstituted, and other people are happy about other parliamentarians in the mountain that wameng'oka na wametolewa. I want you to distinguish and differentiate the work in which the chair committees, the work that those chair committees who have been removed have done in the departments that they have been, and translate to what they have also done in their constituencies. Because some of you, I heard someone today celebrating that Oburu Odinga has been elected the new energy chair and saying we are congratulating the Gen Z. They are calling Oburu a Gen Z because he's a youth leader. And I was laughing at him because instead of laughing at that, let us, if he is the chair of that committee, how is that position influential to the people of his own locality and to the people of the Nyanza region? Because we've had cabinet secretaries, for example, the cabinet secretary of energy, the place where he's coming from, he's not only acting as yes, he's a cabinet secretary of energy, but how in terms of development is Ugunja, in terms of energy electrification, and in terms of development? Because what is he doing? We are celebrating that we have new people into committees. For example, compare what Oburu can do and what others did. If he's taking employment to that region, then let us celebrate. At least after 1 year, we'll come and say that at least we had a chairman, we had the chair of a committee, and this is what he did. Not comparing with other people who did what they did, and they did their best for the other people, and celebrate what others have done in the broad-based alignment. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Kindly, we are all aware since the inception of independence in Africa, the scramble for Africa, many African nations have helped different countries. I said earlier that Samora Machel of Zimbabwe really helped Robert Mugabe to secure independence for Zimbabwe. It has also happened between Uganda and Tanzania, the apartheid and Tanzania, the Southern Sudan and Kenya, Southern Sudan, Somalia, and also Kenya. Kenya has helped and has been a home of many neighbors. So this issue of Pan-Africanism must be enhanced. We should not view President William Ruto supporting other countries as not being loyal or not being loyal to his country. Pan-Africanism is not only when we favor the European Union and the United States of America, we can also be fair to our nation. This issue of Southern Sudan commenced. It was a people revolution. We are aware of a lady who carried a placard castigating the independence of Omar al-Bashir. And from there, the Janjaweed came in to help them with their superior weapons. And today, those people, the Dagalo, the General Dagalo wing, is supported by the locals. So I think William Ruto is just serving the interests of the people of Sudan so that we can have stability and the Sudan people can continue with their economic activity. I want to urge members of the National Bunge la Wananchi to be doing research so that when we speak here, we speak from the point of information. That is my kicker. May I welcome the...
While speaking in regards to injustice, I'd like first to lay my treatment of injustice by the speaker here. Interestingly, he's the one talking about injustice, yet he demonstrates mapendeleo when it comes to speaking here. I have sat here for a long time. People have come here. Mr. Speaker, this is very important. It's about you. Yeah, it's very important because we're speaking about injustice, yet Mr. Speaker is the one castigating it. I have been here for the last 1 hour. People have been coming here. They just cut the queue and Mr. Speaker allows them. So, Mr. Speaker, hold on. It's my time to speak. This is bunge la mwananchi, si bunge la mwenyeji. Mr. Speaker, I want to go forward and give my submission about the foreign policy.
Order, member. Let's give the member to contribute so that we hear what you want to say. He's a new member. I don't think he understands our nini. So let's give tumpatie nafasi.
Sawa.
He doesn't know our order. Standing orders ajui. Tumsamee tu. Atajifundisha polepole.
Expressing quiet. Expressing myself is not insulting speaker.
Proceed.
Yes.
You're allowed. You are protected, sir. Contribute.
Correction. You can only give us information. You cannot
correct
an opinion. You can only give a point of view.
Proceed kindly.
Sawa.
Proceed.
I would like to issue my condolences to the family of Wafula Chebukati, where I come from. When someone dies, it's our duty as the living to say positive things about him. Unfortunately, I don't have anything positive to say about Chebukati, though I would like to wish him to rest in peace. Now, in regards to foreign policy, I feel Kenya is a bigger country compared to our strategic partners. Kenya positions itself in a better place in terms of progressive democracy and in terms of development. The problem we have with William Ruto is playing favorites with these factions. William Ruto should be a neutral arbitrator to the issues facing Sudan. Playing favorites is like a parent who picks another child over another child when solving an issue. When Kibaki solved the issue of other countries, when Kagame solved issues of other countries, they were fair players and they were neutral players. Our foreign policies does not promote Kenya's interest. Interestingly, our government is called Kenya Kwanza. If you turn it to Kimombo, it is Kenya first. Our foreign policy does not put Kenyan interest first. For example, when it comes to the application of visa to the United States of America, a lot of us here pay a lot of money, $200 plus, so that we can go to America. The acceptance rate is 20%. That money is never refunded to our people. This is a clear indication that Kenya is in the business with the United States of America. Kenya is the country that supports the US embassy. Because if the acceptance rate is low, then the logic says that most people who don't get the chances should be refunded. Our foreign policy in regard to the DRC, in regards to Sudan and the Somali border, does not put Kenya interest first. William Ruto, in anticipation of winning 2027 election, he has opened the Somalia border. The Somalia border is not a political issue. It's a border issue. It occurs a lot of people who coincidentally are Al-Shabaabs are from a certain region that they usually cross Kenyan border. That's why the Kenyan border had been crossed and the vetting of the people coming from Somalia to Kenya, it has been put 4 times
than a normal Kenyan, because this is putting Kenyan first. We are putting our security first, and we are protecting our own interests. William Ruto playing with our border issue so as to get ahead in 2027 is a pathetic foreign policy. Most of us here are using phones. And interestingly, most phones probably that Samsung or iPhone. A strong foreign policy that puts Kenya first could be something like forcing these companies like Samsung or iPhone to establish companies here in Kenya. In return, we will raise our revenue. In return, a lot of us, whom all of you, most of us, are unemployed, will get jobs. Having done that, such policies will make us to go ahead and be better. In regard to the AU election, well, that was African leaders voting a no for Kenya. William Ruto has castigated our Kenya position. We are fighting, we are being fought from all fronts. Okay.
Order. Let's
One
give the
minute,
member.
1 minute, 1 minute.
You are protected, sir.
Yeah, okay, thank you. We are being fought from all fronts. We are being fought by the SADC. We are being fought by Rwanda. We are being fought by Sudan. William Ruto, being weak, has exposed Kenya
Honorable
and
Mambo.
make us...
Honorable member and your committee, kindly.
Okay. And has make us very vulnerable to other position. As I finish, it will be unfair for me to talk here today and not discuss about the 2027 election. Well, to my Luo brothers, I have heard some of you say that we are in government. You are lying to yourselves. You are not in government. Raila is in government, Joe is in government, Buddy in government. You are here. You are in Bunge la Wananchi. You are not in government. If we continue this kind of mindset as we go to 2027 elections, we are going to lose this. We need to put our own grievances aside. The hatred that you want to put against tribe, let us put aside. And 2027, let us vote overwhelmingly against one candidate. And that is William Ruto. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, member.
Good evening. Good evening, Professor. Bunge Ria. Bunge Power. Bunge Power. Now listen and listen well. This man now should be sitting down. Put your things down. Put your balls down. Let them not be hovering around and about. I want to tell you, Kenyans, that there is this discussion, there is this discourse running around social media concerning the death of Mzee Chebukati. Let me tell you, because in one way or the other, you are a political toddler. And a political toddler doesn't know where the world goes. Yes. A political toddler will be taking village politics into this forest. Quite unfortunate. In 2017, the late Chebukati carried out, according to me, free and fair election. Very free. If you are not contented with the results, then you could have sued the late Mzee. In the same year, there was a rerun between Uhuru and political toddlers. Where are you now? You cannot know. It was between Uhuru and Raila. Who carried out the activity? Chebukati. That's an achievement. Come 2022, this very man carried out a very peaceful election. No blood was shed. That's an achievement. As much as you are trying to say that this man did nothing, may his soul rest. Don't be the judge. If you want to be the judge, Supreme Court is just down here. Go there and be a qualified one. In our culture, we don't talk about the lates. We give them the decent send-off so far and so much. And in our very own culture also, when someone of Chebukati's stature rests, that is the time most women will be hovering around their husbands to at least give birth to such a great soul. So, Mzee should be given a decent send-off. Let us not talk about anything negative about them. Say, let him rest, and let's give his family the needed comfort at this time of mourning. 2, someone is here, another honorable member was here, saying that it is very wrong, based on what His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, PhD, is doing in consolidating Africa. Let me give you, because I said initially that you are political toddlers. In the year 1970s, when Uganda was in problems, let me tell you, the man who has now stayed in power more than your age, Museveni, was staying in Kenya. At the end of the day, peace was restored. As much as is now the Mugabe of Uganda, at least peace is there. You get? Somalia was fighting the other day. Where were they carrying out the activities? This country. Is this country yours alone? Is it yours alone? And a representative of you is the president. You cannot go and sit with those presidents. Our representative, who is the president, is the one doing all these stuff. Where is the problem? When the president is now bringing warring parties, the Sudanese, so that they have peace. Where is the problem of doing that? Now the M23 in Congo. Where is the problem of our president bringing these warring parties together so that they end the war? So you are happy when your black sons and daughters of this land are shedding blood. You are very happy. So anybody saying that His Excellency Doctor, and by the way, he is the only doctor in the history of Kenya. Jomo Kenyatta was a class 3 doctor. The Moi was a class 7. The other Mzee, the late Kibaki, was an accountant to that level. That is Form 4 and Form 5, 6. Then Uhuru was a Form 4 dropout who dropped from England. Who doesn't know? And then from now, you are being led by our own learned fellow, a distinguished scholar. We are praying for him. We will support him. And anybody thinking otherwise. And I had another toddler said something here, which was so bad, that some people are sitting somewhere in a cocoon celebrating the laws of a constitution, an institution, a supreme, Raila Amolo Odinga, Amolo Uganda. You guys are not serious. Anybody not supporting Raila Amolo Odinga in this country, you are already dead and gone. Thank you very much. Roraka MP 2027. God bless you.